Welcome back to the Sports Ranter. It is draft week, and we are bringing to you live reaction, live times, and almost as tired and exhausted as we can be, right? From putting this all together, from being commissioner. We got for Commissioner Nick here, back-to-back champ, and also our co-host Jake commissioning our league today. We covered last week our strategy, the difference between a PPR league and a standard league. Well, we had our drafts. It's draft week, folks. And on Sunday, we had our PPR draft. And today, we had our standard league draft with Jake. And there's some differences, but there's also some trends. And so what we want to do is go ahead and get right into it. If you're watching, please ask us your question. If you haven't had your drafts yet, you need to get that going. All right. You still have some time to get that started. You're not cool unless you have your own fantasy draft, okay? But Nick, please start us off. Get the viewers up with our draft board, and let's just kind of go over the flow and how we kind of see the field to help our viewers.
Yeah, can you guys see what I'm sharing here?
There we go. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Let's load it up a little bit better there. So, yeah, what was interesting to see was how were people going to look at running backs again this year after such a, you know, big year in running backs, prior to this, Jake has talked big time and it was a receiver heavy for a few years there. And the trend came back last year. It kind of started, and this year, if you look, I mean, um, we have seven of the first nine picks, or eight of the, yes, one, two, five, yeah, seven of the first 10 picks. Sorry, seven of the first 10 picks were running backs. So it's still pretty running back heavy. Even if you look at the second round, it's not even like it went receiver heavy. Even in the second round, you're like, okay, all the running backs went. It's gonna go receiver heavy. That didn't really happen either. Yeah, a couple receivers went off the board, but you still saw five more running backs come around in the second round. So I think the trust in the running backs is back, and rightfully so. I
Mm-hmm.
think they have a lot of value in fantasy. Just to be selfish on my team, I had a big decision between Justin Jefferson and Ashton Genty. I mean, I'm not going to say I made the right pick. I just value running backs a little bit more. And obviously, being a Raider fan, I wanted to root for my guy. But I mean, as I've always talked about, even last year, I went three running backs in a row. So it's nothing new for me. It's a strategy I do. I value running backs a little bit more, and I just hope my guy is the guy that they say he's gonna be. Obviously, rookie, we don't know, but Justin Jefferson has some question marks too, JJ McCarthy and all that. So we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. Ben gets to ride Saquon again for all our viewers. He had him last year. He gets to ride him again, so that I know he's feeling sweet about that. And Jake, just to not to go into too much of your guys' draft, 'cause I know you're gonna, but Jake went receiver heavy. He got the last pick. Like I said, a lot of the running backs off the board. So he took the other strategy. And like we said, there's no perfect strategy. Last week we said we got to see how the draft falls to you and what you feel comfortable with. And Jake, was he's gonna dominate us on receivers. That's his game plan. That's the goal there with the running backs that left. So if that strategy plan pans out and his receivers are the studs that he drafts them for, his team's gonna be just fine. So yeah, I think it was a good draft. It was a very thin draft in my mind. I think, once we got past even like 6, 7 rounds, I just felt like who we going with. Um or in past years, we don't. I think we would go like at least 10 solid rounds before we felt like, oh, who are we gonna pick? This year was a little thin in my mind. What are your thoughts, Jake?
Um, yeah, I agree. I always feel like, after, you do the whole preseason, you do mock drafts and this and that, and you kind of see where people are valued and their ADP and stuff. But every year, we get to the drafts and it's like, holy shit, Jordan Mason was going in the 10th and 11th round in my mock draft. And here somebody is grabbing him in the seventh. because we're in good leagues and we're in competitive leagues. My observation from what I've seen this year is I've had 3 drafts now, and out of all the drafts that I've had, the teams that I really, really like are at that 10, 11, and 12 spot. And I'm not just saying that, Nick, because I had the 12 spot in your league. I was actually,
of course,
I was actually the number 3 spot in the 2 other leagues, including today. I really liked. I really think the receiver depth fell off after that 5th round. After you get to that George Pickens, Jameson Williams, you're really shooting some wild cards. There really is not a lot of, in the 5th, it's like, after Jameson Williams and George Pickens and all that, you got receivers that have suspension problems or concussion problems or whatever. But then, you're sitting there looking, and you got David Montgomery, and you have DeAndre Swift, and you had some solid backs. So, Nick, in your league, I actually really liked kind of the way that the draft fell to me. And we never know. We'll never know. What's going to happen. But I really think, in all the leagues that I'm in so far, I've really liked the teams that are near the end. Today, CeeDee Lamb, again, standard league. We're not getting, points per catch. So, there's a little bit of a factor with that. But, CeeDee Lamb fell to the, 10th pick, stacked with Malik Neighbors. And it's just like, that's a great stack. And then I forget, who Kenny's running backs were at the, after that. But he found some decent running backs, So, like I had talked about, a week ago in the show is, especially Nick in your league, being at that 12th pick, and I guess in every league, like you really do have to, if you believe in a player, like you really do have to take that shot and say, hey, listen, I'm the first pick, in the 4th round, and there's a lot of picks before, it gets back to me. I'm going to have to reach a round or 2 early to get that player that I want, and the player that I believe in. I ended up drafting that backup running back. I feel so bad because it sounds so bad to the viewers for getting names, but Ollie, the backup in Miami, I ended up reaching like 4 rounds, early for him, got him like in the 10th round.
Right.
Ollie Gordon. No, Ollie Gordon.
Oh.
Because Wright's hurt, and there's been nothing but praise about this guy.
Oh yeah, he got hurt for that draft. Yeah,
and it's like our league is too good. I don't trust another. At that point, I don't trust another 20 picks to go by and have him still there. So it's like, he
went 14th round in our league, and then you said you drafted him in the 10th. You said.
Hold on one second. I'll tell you right. I'll tell you right now. So I got him in I got him. Let's see, Ollie Gordon. I got him. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I got him in the 11. So, but it's just from what I've heard, and I don't really believe in Devon A-Chain. He was the guy that I'm like, at this point, it's like, do I take a second quarterback or second tight end or a guy that could possibly have upside? So you always got to kind of reach if you believe in those players. You really do. The other thing I learned, I just want to say, is you can't have recency bias. And I went through this with T. Higgins. We all saw that, and get into that heartbreak, all we want, but. And Nick, your league, I drafted, Keenan Allen late, right? Did I get? Yeah, I got him in. I believe it was your league, Nick. God, the leagues run together.
Nope.
But what's up?
No, you got Rashid Rice.
Okay. So I got him in another league. Rashid Rice is actually, another one. But I genuinely believe that Keenan Allen, even if he comes in and he gets, 60 catches, for 900 and say 5 touchdowns. I think, the round I got him in is pretty much free. It's like, do you take a gamble on an unknown or for me, that's a pretty good bet to fill in. So, Jerry Jeudy fell in a lot of these drafts, but they just cut, Deontay Johnson. Joe Flacco's going to be the starter. They're going to air it out. Joe Flacco last year when he started, the first 3 games he started was on pace for over 800 passing attempts. Like the dude airs the ball out. Like, but Jerry Jeudy's burned a lot of people. So I had to draft T. Higgins. The value was just too much, and it's, despite the fact I hate starting him, you have to let go of that recency bias because you could really be passing up, on a good thing, because you're stubborn or whatever. But so I really feel like we did a good job as far as our strategies going into the draft. I feel like we addressed a lot of the things that we saw kind of come to fruition. So it was kind of cool. But yeah, that's my take of it.
I would agree. Obviously, we're involved in 2 different. Obviously, the way you draft. I know you don't overthink it too much, PPR versus standard, but I did see a trend. You guys are already hating on the out the park, really. But what I had found, obviously, if you're kind of low on running back because you're getting those PPRs, or if you're not getting your running back too early, you're going to be reaching for him later. You're reaching for your number 2 running back, or you're reaching for your bench. That's kind of how I felt, because that's just the kind of way I drafted. I wasn't so happy if I was happy with the crop, with what you're happy with. Like, for instance, today, I already had it. I had a solid number 2 running back, and I knew I had him, because everybody hates this team. And I had him today. But Jake fucking snagged Chuba Hubbard right in front of me as my number 2 running back, And so after that, it was just, it fell for me, on my board. He's a number 2 running back. But after that, it was like, man, he was like the last dude hanging in there. And so I was like, okay, now I'm reaching. Now I got to reach for my guy. So who do I reach for in both leagues? Nick Chubb. I'm excited for him because Joe Mixon's hurt. He's the guy that they're bringing about in camp. I have a little bit of insider on him because they had joint practice with the Panthers. So that too I like. And so, yes, I reached for him. Rico Dowdle. People don't like, really? Behind Chuba Hubbard? But people forget he was a 1,000-yard rusher last year with the Dallas Cowboys. And they're going to be behind Dave Canales' offense, which they're going to run the ball, you guys. So if anything, he takes some volume away from Chuba, and he'll be something solid there. They're gonna use him, and so that's what ends up happening. If you have to wait for those running backs, you're going to end up reach. So my suggestion to you is in that 3rd round, 4th round, try to get your RB2, and whether it is standard or a PPR. Because it's going to be slim pickings after that, guaranteed. Okay, so, but other than that, riding Saquon, I remember asking up this question. I always bug everybody. Number 1 overall pick, who you picking? And everybody can't, it's hard not to go from Saquon. So when I'm at number 3, I'm like an idiot. Like, I got to take him. There's nothing that says.
You took him at 2.
And in your league, but in this league, I took him at 3. And
you got him in that league too?
I got him in Jake leagues at 2.
Oh wow!
It was
I took Bijan Robinson right after him. He had the choice of the 2.
Yeah, I went Saquon.
All in on Saquon.
But for me, it was going to be Jahmyr Gibbs. To me, it was Saquon or Jahmyr Gibbs. But for me, I liked him. But we're talking value. I like Montgomery late. So that's why I take Saquon. Everybody agrees with my Saquon pick except my 9-year-old son. He was so fascinated. He goes, Dad, did you pick Barkley? I go, yes. He goes, in both leagues. He goes, Madden curse. And I was like, how do you know about the Madden curse? And I was like, but if you go back, Saquon, yes, was hurt by the Madden curse, but I think he's the first ever to be on the twice. Is Saquon the first ever to be on the Madden twice?
I don't know.
I'm not sure on that
because he was.
I stopped playing Madden a long time ago.
So we'll see. But anyways,
I gotta say this though. This is my 3rd draft now, and there's just something about this player where I feel like I got to get him in one league, and every team that he's been drafted to, I've really liked that team, but there's just something in the gut feeling that's about CeeDee Lamb this year that is I feel like he's been there every draft, and I've drafted kind of early, and then obviously in Nick's league he was already gone, at 12, but um, I feel like that's going to be the league winner this year. I don't know. I can't say it. I don't know why. I feel like Dallas is going to be airing it out. I feel like CeeDee Lamb is going to have a monster year, and every person that's drafted him has got him late. In every league I've been in, except Nick, yours, I think he went like 6 or something like that. But
5.
5, okay. Rightfully so. That's where he should be going. But in the other leagues that I've been in, it's like 10 or 11, and it's just like the stack that has been going with CeeDee Lamb on that turnaround. Malik Neighbors or Josh Jacobs. It's just like I feel like CeeDee Lamb is going to be an absolute monster, and he's getting totally overlooked. When it's like when you're staring down the barrel of the gun between Justin Jefferson and CeeDee Lamb, why are people? Jefferson's got a new quarterback, another new quarterback. It's like CeeDee Lamb and Dak have rapport.
So let me push
What was
back.
it last year?
And I'm gonna hate on Brian's team here, and this is what a belief I've always had in draft. The first round, you cannot win it in the first round, but you can lose it in the first round.
For sure.
So getting CeeDee Lamb in the first round, even on the turnaround, getting him in the first round, even if he has a monster year, Jake, not gonna win your league if you don't build your team right.
Well,
I'm looking at Brian's team.
Anybody.
Like, no. I understand that, but all you need them is to not be a huge bust and then solid. So, by you saying CeeDee Lamb's gonna, let's just say he has a Jamar Chase year, okay?
Right.
He's only gonna be a league winner is if you follow your draft. Like I said, look at Brian. He got your dude here, but with Bucky Irving, Travion Henderson, Jalen Hurts, okay, Cortland Sutton, Roma Dutzer. Like, I don't see that as a strong team. I really don't.
Well, we don't see that. Yeah, but we don't see that right now. But the league hasn't started yet. You look back on a lot of teams that won. There's a lot of people, Nick, that didn't see your team as a strong team last year.
Oh, my team was strong.
But people didn't see it that way. Rookie tight end and Terry McLaurin.
Yeah, but my 3 running backs were solid. So again, I didn't lose my league in the first 3 picks. You can lose your league.
Okay, let me rephrase.
Derrick Henry, Jonathan Taylor, and Alvin Kamara carried me all year long.
Okay,
and my fill-in guys.
Then I guess what I'm saying is, besides Jamar Chase, I don't see a first-round pick that is going to lose your league. I see CeeDee Lamb as as safest pick as anybody else. But
that's fair. I agree with you there. That's fair.
More or less what I'm saying. So when I say a league winner, you go back last year and you look at all the first-round picks from last year, or like the averages of where people were drafted. And there wasn't many first or second round picks that did you any favors besides like Saquon. Like there's just a lot of the times those players are busts or they're not they don't perform at the value that they're drafted. CeeDee Lamb this year, to me, what I'm saying is somebody that, especially when I see him in a few of my leagues going in the later part of the first round, he's going to be a value, and he's going to be as safe a first-round pick as anybody. I really believe that. I really do.
Last year's draft. So, I mean, to Jake's point, I mean, was he disappointing last year?
CeeDee Lamb, when Dak gets hurt,
I don't remember. Yeah, but
but
Bijan was obviously ended up solid. We got fact check last week, so he was solid. Bijan was solid. Hold
on. McCaffrey bust, Tariq bust, Bijan was solid. Amon-Ra was a weird one because I had him and he finished the wide receiver.
He didn't lose you. He didn't lose it for you.
No, but yeah, he was not the kind of guy. So
Saquon was obviously a monster. CeeDee
Breece Hall
injuries. Breece Hall. Jamar Chase was astronomical.
Absolutely.
Justin Jefferson was just fine. Kyron was a bust. AJ
AJ
Brown and
wasn't
Derrick Henry
great.
were just fine. So you have a little 60%. But if you look at it, so yeah, you're right. Mario didn't have a chance to win it.
Right.
Dylan didn't have a chance to win it.
Right.
You were still in it with Amon, so he kept you in it. Christian didn't
Ugh.
have a chance to win it. Andrew wasn't had a chance to win it. So just
Brees
looking at the first
Hall.
round,
Oh my God.
yeah,
Well,
just
we can
looking at the
all.
first round, that's where I can kind of like what you're saying, and we're both right in that sense. Is you can't win it in the first round,
Right.
but you can lose it in the first round.
Well, and we
Like,
all
you
agree that,
definitely
and the scary thing with wide receivers, and running backs is you don't necessarily have this. I guess you got to look at the O line, but with receivers, you always have to like look at the receiver you're drafting, kind of like he's conducive to the quarterback, like you know what I mean? It's like Dak got hurt, and so it's like if Jamar Chase was on, say Buffalo, where Josh Allen was his quarterback, Jamar Chase is unstoppable because Josh Allen don't get hurt. But Joe Burrow had the injury with the ankle, then he had the injury with the wrist, and it's like at any point, it's the same. Tyreek Hill, Tua could go down with a concussion. That makes him drop like in my draft. CD, as long as Dak stays healthy, and I know that I'm saying as long as, but
yeah, I
if
mean
Dak stays healthy all year,
that's with everybody.
I feel like CD is as much of a can't miss as anybody else.
Hey Ben,
Yes.
along those lines, here's our draft this year. Who are the league losers in round one? Little, who do you think highest risk round one takers? That's a good little segue off what we just talked about.
That's a fantastic question, right?
for this year.
For this draft, right now, this draft,
Is this our board right now?
yeah, this
Okay,
is our
yeah,
board that just happened. So who's highest to lose it right now in the round one? Who's gonna lose it?
I mean, I know Jake's talking about how he loves it late. I love the late too, but you can't miss. If you go late and you're picking, you still have to construct your roster. This is what I'm doing all day long. It's not whether or not I can get this or that guy. It's how do I get them both, is how I'm thinking.
I got one.
And so I don't like Jaime. I don't like the way Jaime drafted, the way it started, because number one, the way it came out, he could have went stronger with his running back, and he probably still could have got Puka Nacua on the turn.
Yeah,
and then coming back, he has to pay for. Now, like I said, we found out later that if you don't get that running back right away, who's not even first round value, you're hurting. Now Brees Hall is your number two, and so like I said, everyone's kind of like going safe and going it, but then when I see Puka Nacua is not bad, but then I see Devontae Shane, like to me that's he didn't really win it, but he probably lost it, right there on 1 and 2. We'll see. His team's usually pretty strong.
So I know Jake, you're gonna, dude. I think Chase Brown has a bigger chance to be a league loser than a winner. I think Andrew's risk there. I'm not doubting the stats. You can stay. It's just he's a smaller back. It's just I think there's just way like
really
again, we're
funny.
talking about
Really
safer,
funny,
right? Like
it's really funny. I just told him this today.
I don't like the
exactly
one
what you're saying.
1 year wonder guys. How many times have we seen the 1 year wonder guys? I just pulled up last draft. It happened to Brees Hall, the 1 year wonder guys. Yeah, I'm not saying there's talent there. We see that, but it's just the smaller backs always scare me. I need to see like big, thick legs or something. Like I just after that wear and tear of one big season, we've just seen so many running backs just fall off the next year, and that's just where. And then again, like you just brought up, Jake, you have what if Burrow gets injured, and what if what if T Higgins gets injured? What if like that offense?
Oh, he will.
Might not be rolling on all cylinders. That affects all of them. You think, oh, he's going to get more volume. Not true. You move the ball less. You have less red zone targets. You have less scoring. Like it affects everybody when pieces of your offense go down.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Andrew's gamble there is more likely to be a league loser than winner in my mind.
I agree 100% with Ben on Jamie. Puka's relying on a quarterback that's missing vertebrae. in his back, and Devon A. Chain's still hurt, and then Brees Hall.
Yeah.
But to not pick one of those two, to me, honestly, and Nick, I've learned over the years never to fucking doubt your brothers, but Damien's is a little bit suspect. Now, Derrick Henry's a beast, of course we know that. At some point, the dude's got to slow down a little bit. I would bet that he's probably not going to. Okay, but Derrick Henry doesn't catch a lot of passes. Okay, he'll still score a lot of touchdowns, but even if they drop his usage by 10%, that's still a big deal. His wide receiver one plays for Jacksonville. Jacksonville, again, new coach, new system, blah blah blah. So now your third, your wide receiver now, your wide receiver 3 is Tyreek Hill. You're dependent on a lot of variables as far as Tua's health. Does Tyreek even want to play anymore? And so your running backs now, you got Ja'Cory, Krosky, whatever the fuck, and again, we're in a PPR league. Austin Eckler's your pass catcher in that league, and he's probably going to be, the 3-down guy for a while until this guy gets acclimated. So it's just Jackson Smith, good pick. I had him last year. He saved me in a lot of leagues, but again, new quarterback, new system. So there's a lot of if I was betting on one team, the one that makes me the most nervous is besides Jamie's obviously is probably Damien's, just because there's a lot that could potentially really go wrong. There's a lot that could go right, but
no, it's all fair. I mean, again, like you just said, the season has started. We don't know. Like I said, we'll put it up next year and we'll find out, oh, that was horrible. This sucked. Like, there's no way to predict any of this. Otherwise, we'd win our league every year. But
right.
The way you're analyzing is correct. I will just push back on Derrick Henry a little bit. He's the Mike Evans of the running backs. Like, every year we keep saying he's not going to do it. And until they don't, like, I don't see why not. There's still the risk there. Even Mike Evans this year, is he going to get 1,000 yards, 10 touchdowns? I don't know.
Right.
But if he does it again, like, I can't sit here and be shocked. He got hurt, but he got the 1,000 yards. He didn't get the 10 touchdowns, but he got the 1,000.
I'm talking Derrick Henry. There's no reason for him this year to not replicate what he did last year. The guy's unstoppable.
But yeah, the rest was for sure. I mean, luckily for me, and then I'm just gonna speak on mine. I know mine. I already kind of said mine. First round pick is a gamble. I'm just banking on the volume, and we have nobody else, and so he's a safe pick in that aspect. And it's not like he's doesn't have talent or he ends up being a bust. Like, nobody, that's not even, I don't even think that's possible. Like, the guy's a monster. It's more, can our offense support him, or are we better than we were last year? All those things. But like Ben was saying, I think I did a hell of a job drafting after that, knowing that I have Genty as a high risk, high reward type of guy. As a rookie, and we don't truly know him, again, to our viewers, okay, let me get a solid back that we know is legit, right? Let me not go running back like Jake said, or Ben said. If I don't get another running back there, I'm gonna be hurt. I'm relying solely on Genty, and if he busts, I'm screwed.
Yep.
And so don't set yourself up for failure. I took my little bit of a gamble, call it whatever it is, with my guy asking Genty, okay, well, back him up with, I think, arguably the most solid number 2 running back you can have in the draft if you look on the board. And then, because knowing I'm weak on receiver, I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to have an edge on tight end all year long. I'm going to have one of the top tight ends in the league, if not tight end number 1, and so forth. And I'm not going to go through my whole draft. But, like, again, the way the draft falls, was this my exact strategy going in? No, but, like, you got to make sure you build your team correctly as you go. Because, like I said, I could have ruined it in my mind. Let's just say I go Drake London, or, whoever the next receiver, was Drake London or something. Let's just say Drake London. Like, who's my second running back coming off the board? Then who's my tight end? I'm not going to get George Kittle anymore. So I am weak at tight end. I'm weak at running back if Genty doesn't pan out. I'm relying my league on Drake London. Like, that would have been garbage. That would have been horrible.
Yeah.
So just make sure you build correctly.
Well, Nick, let me comment on yours. So, obviously the pick with Genty there is a gamble. Like, I think the Vegas odds have Genty scoring like 4.5 touchdowns on the year.
Yeah,
So
they have Brock Bowers doing the same thing. They're just nuts.
right. Which it's just but in my league, and again PPR versus standard, but in my league, Josh Jacobs went 8th overall. For you to get him
Yes.
that late in the second round
Yes.
is huge. But what I like and what I like about what Nick did is Nick came around and he took a safe running back in David Montgomery. So it's like you're solid there, but then this is where you need to know your league. Terry McLaurin, Devonta Smith, Michael Pittman Jr. These are all guys that get a lot of targets, a lot of opportunities to catch passes, and it's like
And you already talked about Eckler.
Nick sacrificed those receivers early on, but it's like you may not have that guy that's going to get you 12 or 13 touchdowns, but you got guys that are going to get you 90 to 100 catches, and that's very, very important. People, like, you have to know the scoring in your league, because it's just like, that's why, to me, in Nick, in your league, I was so happy to get DeAndre Swift, because the dude's a pass catcher. He's been used as a pass catcher. His new coach uses him as a pass catcher. Like, I was happy to get that. I know that he's not going to go get all these touchdowns and all this and that, but he's a very, very functional receiver that's going to get a lot of points based on our scoring setup, which is what allowed me to go get receivers early on. Is just recognizing, hey, look, I may not have this solid number one, running back like a Gentry or a Barkley or anything like that, but you know what? Like, give me a Swift, give me a Swift, give me a even a guy like Travis Etienne, who's still going to start the year. I hope they trade him, but shit. But
what I've always hated about the way that you drafted Jake, is you do it very, very smoothly. It's so non-fucking chalantly. Fucking, I'm taking this guy. But you're always one of the top fucking scorers in this damn PPR league. I've seen you do this before, where you're just heavy every receiver, and then you go a PPR running back, and like I said, it's a solid formula, and I've seen you do it multiple times. And
I will say the risk for Jake, and it's happened to you, Jake, is, and I'm not trying to jinx you here, but when you draft that way, I'm just telling the viewers, it's a solid way. Ben is correctly right. He does very well in our league. DeAndre Swift goes down, you're screwed. Like that's the risk of drafting that way. I know you have a theory or you have a plan, and Jake always is good on the waiver, and so I trust Jake as a fantasy owner. I'm just saying to our viewers, you draft this way, just understand you could be one injury. Like, not, we can all kind of say that, but usually one injury doesn't kill us. In this case, one injury can really decimate your team, only because you got backups.
This year, Nick, this year in your league, I did come away a little bit lighter on running backs than I would have liked to. I would have liked to get one more, guy. I'm happy I got Jordan Mason, but Jordan Mason's a goal line guy. He's not until Aaron Jones gets hurt or whatever. But at the same time, too, with that logic being said, I'm also one injury away from a James Conner or something like that, where Trey Benson steps up, and now I got a 3-down back that can catch passes, and he's a stud. So, it kind of goes both ways. Injuries are always a risk, and that was one of the things with Nico Collins, why I was just like, ugh. But and T. Higgins, God,
I gotta say, and I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna throw it to you, Ben, just because we each got to touch on our team. The last few years, even though you got second last year, so I'll give you your props, Ben pulled it off. I'm normally not a big fan of Ben's drafts. I'm really not.
No one is.
And I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing, Ben, but I like your team. Your first 7 picks are solid. I like it. Again, and I'm just being frank, like, I haven't really liked it in the previous years. Ben
does this in my league too. Every year, it's like Ben is that guy that's like, seems like a reach, and you're like, what's going on with this roster construction? But
he didn't really reach this year, and that's what I'm saying. Saquon, then you got Drake, he's rated where he was. James Cook's a solid number 2 back in the 3rd round. Like, we all know what James Cook did. And then, Marvin Harrison was what, a 1st round, 2nd round pick last year. He dropped off a little bit. So, I think he's going to have a bounce back year. Year 2 with Kyler Murray more. So he gets him in the 4th round. Jalen Waddle, we all know what he can do. Everybody in Miami's a gamble. We get it, but that's a fifth round pick. He's a potential one or two receiver if he has a big year. And then Chris Olave, whatever. Spencer Rattler's throwing him the ball, so we'll see. But we know he's got the talent. So I know we all have guys that have a little bit of risk, but I don't think any of those were like reaches. I don't. And then obviously Mark Andrews, he finished strong last year, so hopefully he can have something. Lamar Jackson, you just need
boys. I gotta go. Hey, I gotta go. It's been fun, dude. Hey, I'm sorry I gotta go, guys. But hey, I got one more draft. But I'll talk to you guys. We'll get together this week. Okay.
Good luck, Jake.
Later, guys.
Good luck.
Have fun.
But yeah, I'll just finish my point. Then Mark Andrews, and then you already talked about Nick Chubb, so I'll leave that. And then after the 8th, 9th round, everybody's has their strategy and their gamble guys and this guy and that guy. It doesn't really matter. Half those guys get dropped by week 3. But yeah, up to, like I said, even your guy Nick Chubb, we got the announcement the day after that Joe Mixon's hurt, so that ended up being great. But like I said, Mark Andrews, you're just looking, hey, give me 10, 12 points.
Yeah.
Just have a solid connection with Lamar Jackson if he has a big week from time to time. Yeah. I was never shocked by any of your picks, and most of the time I was like, what? You always have a little bit of a, like Jake was saying, you always seems like you reach for guys here and there. But I just felt like you had a solid draft this year. I really do. I like your team a lot. Obviously, I love Saquon. I've ran and raved about him all year. I'm gonna watch him give you 30 points every week. I love it.
No, and I really appreciate that. And like you said, a lot of it is, getting your guy, but also building your roster. There's a way to build the roster because there's a flow of the draft. It changes. And especially near the wraparound, like I said, when I'm coming near the wraparound, because I know I got great drafters in front of me and behind me. Today I had Drew and Jake in front of me and behind me, right? So it's like, fuck. How do I get this guy and not that guy? No. How do I get them both? Sometimes that involves a reach. People are like, what the fuck? But now I got both the guys that I was aiming for, because you go early on a tight end and it makes some people fall, or then a quarterback run happens and then you still get some guys. Things happen. And so I think with experience, you get the flow of the draft. I remember I took Dalvin Cook in the 4th round because I was hot about him and Aaron Rodgers with the Jets, right? Even though we knew it was a disaster, I thought at least the run game is going to be something to take care of, but I fucking did it.
I forgot about that.
I fucking did it. Right?
I forgot about that.
So you guys are right.
You did that last year with Chuba. I'll give you credit. And you did it last year with Chuba. We were all like, oh, really bad? Right. Homer, all that stuff. Obviously ended up being a monster for you. So, yeah, sometimes it works out. Dalvin Cook did not. Sometimes it does. Chuba Hubbard, But you got to believe in who you're drafting. And that's one thing I will give you credit. You always believe in the guys you're drafting. You're never like an Andrew or Jake. You go up there, oh, I don't really want this guy. And you just draft him. Yeah. And, you draft him because he's just ranked there. It's like, don't do that either. Don't just follow the ranking sheet. Go get your guys from your research that you believe in, that you think. Because, like you said, whether you pick them, 27th or 20 or 31st, 4 picks don't matter in a draft. Right. If the guy you want is that guy, who cares if you reach from 4 picks too high or whatever it was? That doesn't matter in the draft. It really doesn't, because he's your guy.
Right, and once you get all your starters and you feel, and obviously, with my style, I'm gonna spot play probably my quarterback and my kicker and those things. So I'm still kind of going with the flow of the draft at this point, and it's the way that I construct my roster is how I'm going. At this point, it's like you guys are doing your thing, you're doing my thing, right? So it's like I'm still building my roster. Fuck y'all's roster. And I think what's funny, you say that today at Jake's League, you have to kind of just be confident with your pick, whether it's good or bad, right? You whether you do good or bad, you got to own up to it, right? And be confident to it. So today, 9th round in the standard league, I love it. I'm walking up and I go pick Baker Mayfield, just like you. I love it. Have me some Baker Mayfield, and this is a lot of points in the standard league for the quarterback, nice. Right? So I'm going back to my seat, right? And I sit down, and fucking Jeff Seeley is so mad at me. He's like, "Dude, you're just gonna fucking ignore me?" Like what? Like, dude, I'm giving you a high five here. Like, that's a good pick late round, Baker Mayfield. And I'm like, dude, I'm sorry. Like, in this league, I've learned just to make my pick, turn around, and look down and don't listen to fucking nobody. Because you guys are all talking shit. You guys are all doing this. Not often am I getting fist pumps in the ninth
Yeah.
round. But like I said, I mean, sometimes you got to wait and you know he's good. And, dude, Baker Mayfield, you know. But I just kind of said, you reminded me of what happened today. So you can't listen to what the other guys say. Even though everyone's going to make the remark. And people are like, yeah, it doesn't make sense for you at your spot and your roster, but it's making sense to me in the way that I'm building my team. So when I turn around and make my pick, y'all can suck it. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's, I mean, like I said, as long as you build your team, and like I said, there's always a couple people. I know we already did it, but
But I'm
yeah,
going to get a chance to talk about you because of the way you're talking about roster construction, flow of the draft, your strategy, flow of the draft. How these are all important to our viewers out there.
yeah,
You guys are still tuning in. These are what's happening. Nick is kind of how I went safety with my cushion last year, Saquon Barkley. Nick's doing the same thing with his 3 running backs, knowing it's a PPR league. We can get receptions late. I'm not even talking about McLaren, Devontae Smith, and Michael Pittman. 11th round Marvin Mims.
yeah,
If you know what's going on in the league and you pay
in
attention,
Denver.
and like I said, that's why I like doing a state of the franchise at the end of the season. You kind of have an idea, retrospect of what happened last year. If you go back to what happened with Bo Nix and Marvin Mims last year, that has a lot of upside in round 11. He can be a potential number 2 for you. You know,
Yeah, no. I was happy he was there and he fell there. I just, yeah,
he
I
fucked
agree.
uh,
At
um,
that
today.
point,
Today, Chuba did it to me. I'm sorry, Jake did it to me twice. He took freaking Chuba in front of me, and then he took Mims right in front of me. And I was like, ooh, it hurt because I know there's value there.
yeah,
Uh,
and at the bottom, like again, you got to understand what fantasy is all about and all that stuff. It's okay. You're not gonna get a consistent, boom, boom, boom. Like, okay, if you don't know Marvin's Mims is one in that offense. So it's not like he's just this random guy. Like he's gonna be part of the Broncos offense. And yeah, he's a boom or bust player, but that you're in the 11th round. You're in the 10th round. Those are the guys you want. You're drafting the boom or bust players
mm-hmm.
that you're gonna have to fill into your roster. And then if they happen to not be boom or bust, like you're saying, they happen to be more consistent all year long, you just gotta steal the draft. And if they happen to bust, doesn't cost you anything. It was an 11th rounder. By then, it's not going to lose you your league. So it's only pure upside at that point. It's only pure upside. But again, you have to draft the guys that have that potential. Brandon Ayuk went in that draft, but he's hurt. So if he comes back healthy, cool. That's a big risk. I mean, Christian took Rashid Shaheed, same thing. He's a really big boomer bust player. Those are the type of players you're looking for in these rounds.
Right.
Obviously, I think Mims is the more consistent one of all of them, and I
Mm,
mean, he's going to be in that offense. They give him end arounds, they do all kinds of stuff.
mm.
Again, I don't know why he went to the 11th, but I was shocked he was still there. I wasn't really planning on drafting him. Obviously, like by then I got Baker Mayfield, and then even I drafted Jadon Blue on some same thing wild card because I like running backs, so that I favor running backs. I got some insight that he's going to be the starting running back in Dallas by the end of the year. We'll see if I'm right, see
Yeah.
if I'm wrong, see if my insider trading over here is going to be right. And if he happens to be right, I got a starting running back in the 10th round. If not, okay, I'm going to cut him and no harm, no foul. And so I went with him first, risking knowing that running backs are more important, and then to come back around and I'm like, Mims is still there.
Yeah, man, that's
But
solid, man. That's solid.
but
So we'll see, brother. We'll see. I'm
can't
excited.
wait.
Do you got any more drafts for the rest of the week?
Yeah, I got 2 drafts on Sunday and then one on Monday. So 2
and
on Sunday night and then one Labor Day.
and then
Um,
kickoff is next Thursday, correct?
next Thursday, ready to go. So I'm ready.
Wow.
I'm ready to draft.
So just to let everybody know, we're going to try to add some more content for you guys on Sundays. We're going to try to
Yeah.
come in before Sunday Night Football. It may not be an every time thing, but to help our man Drew come in and help us get an early reach on what's happening in the fantasy world after all the afternoon games, that morning and afternoon games that happen. We're going to come in between the afternoon games, late afternoon games, and Sunday Night Football and try to do a quick show for you guys. Just kind of get an early reach. Early bird gets the worm, right? So if we're paying
Yeah.
attention and seeing the field, We're going to be here for you starting after the first kickoff, which is what, next
It would be the
Thursday?
14th, right?
No. Kickoff is Thursday,
Oh, the
August
7th.
4th.
The 7th. Sorry.
September,
I'm off.
right?
September 7th.
No, it's the 4th, Thursday.
Well, no, our Sunday kickoff is going to be the 7th. Our
Right.
Sunday kickoff show would be
Oh,
our
I'm
first
sorry.
Sunday show would be on the 7th.
I'm
Sorry,
sorry,
that's
yes.
what I thought you were going
No,
with.
you're right, but the NFL kickoff
The
starts
NFL
next
kickoff
Thursday the
is
4th, right?
next Thursday the 4th, correct.
Wow. We are so close. We are so close around the corner. I want to say thank you to Nick. Thank you,
Exciting.
Jake. Thank you, Seth, for joining us and chiming in, being at the draft. We're excited. So thank you guys very much. Hope that helps. Until next time, peace be the journey. And one love.
Later.